use is appropriate. Like so, Shannon, he passed away 2000 or 2001. So he was most active. I think his paper was 1948, Shannon's thesis, and then so he was most active during the 60s, 70s, right? So at those time, it was just predicted to be quite low using telephone lines. I think there are breakthrough, and in fact, these are used, okay, because I think there was when it was calculated or estimated that time, the transmission lines were not as good quality. So there's a certain assumption that was changed, and of course now we know that if we use the right modulation, we can actually achieve quite a high bit rate that is comparable to what was predicted. So if you look at this is using telephone lines, right? Using your modem through the telephone lines. I'm not sure whether you use it before. You use it before? When in the olden days, there's a modem. It's not by fiber or not by cable, right?
Internet. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's a limitation of how much. I mean, it's really based on what it was then shown. Then you can actually reach or very close to what Shannon has predicted. Okay. I think this is just the last few slides for information. So we talk about fading channel. Fading channel. So when there's a fading channel, so remember what our fading channel means is that the amplitude will change, and then sometimes depends on the frequency as well, right? Frequency selective fading. You have flat fading, you have fast fading, slow fading. All this will affect in a way the amplitude of the signal to noise reduce the signal, right? So capacity outages is defined as the maximum rate at which the that can be transmitted over a channel with some outage probability correspond to the probability that transmission cannot be decoded with negligible error probability. So it is the maximum rate that can be transmitted with some outages probability. Means outage is sometimes you can't transmit, right? Right, so I think you probably observe sometimes your phone watching some videos, sometimes it just cannot transmit. So that's the outage. Right? But when it's transmitting, it's still transmitting without error. Right? So that is the capacity with outage. And it is allowable for a lot of our digital communication. I mean, there's a lot of things that we allow this kind of things like streaming. There's usually a buffering, right? So you don't have to make sure to be able to receive the same data rate at the same time. So there's always this capacity. So there's always this things that you can build in to overcome all these outages, right? So there is also possibility that high data rate can be maintained even in deep fading. So by allowing the system to do some data in the event of deep fades, you can actually maintain a higher data rate, and then it just shows that even for fading channel, we can always kind of adjust to it, right? Because fading doesn't go all the time, right? Right, depending on where you are, you can move around, it will change. Right, so what it will affect is really the data rate. Okay, so I think this one is a bit. I mean, if you want to understand what is being shown here, is okay. Well, okay, I think what is more important is over here. The power and data rate are increased when the channel conditions are favorable and decreased when the channel conditions are not favorable. Right? So basically how you adjust is you adjust your power and your data rate, right? So when it is not desirable, when it's desirable, you can increase your power, your transmission power, and then your data rate is increased. When it's unfavorable, everything is decreased. Right, so it's always adjusting. So you look at your signal bar, right? Your signal bar will go up and down, and then depending on up and down, your data rate is actually affected. Right? When you have what, full bar or half a bar, and that is the reason why your data rate is really related to how much power you can receive and transmit. Okay? So even though